Hi everyone, this is Crafty Decoria. I hope you're having a wonderful day or evening depending on when you're watching this. So today I'm doing a simple Dollar Tree craft with me. I will be making a fall harvest wreath. I had some other DIYs planned, but I got really busy this week, so I didn't get around to doing them, but I did want to upload a video, and since I did have to make this for someone, I figured I would share it as I was making it. So all the items that I will be using for this DIY are all from the Dollar Tree. So I start off with some leaves from the Dollar Tree, as well as some sunflower stems in orange and yellow. I just love the fall colors. I have 3 willow wreaths, and these are the 12-inch wreaths. I have some cable ties that I will be using to help keep these willow wreaths together. I also will be using some hot glue, but this will just keep them more secure. I will be using some acrylic paint in the colors pumpkin orange and black. I have some nautical rope by Craft Decor. And this is the 0.2 inches by 14.7 feet. I have a wooden plaque that I will be using. Also, I have, sorry, I just dropped it, some burlap ribbon, and this is 9 feet. And then I will be using one of the metal words that come in this 3-pack that say thankful, harvest, and welcome. I will be using the harvest word. And that should be it. So let's jump into this tutorial. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so one thing I did forget to mention is when I make my stem for my pumpkin, which is going to be what my willow wreaths will be making, I will be using just some old newspaper that I'm going to shape as a stem, and then I will be wrapping that with the nautical rope. Now, to make my pumpkin, I'm using my 3 willow wreaths here. I've laid 2 right beside each other, side by side, and then the third one, I'm going to lay it in the center. But I'm not going to make it even. I'm going to have it fall just down a little bit. And that is going to make the shape of my pumpkin. Now I'm going to take my cable ties and I'm just going to attach them here and then here and here, and then I may do another 2 up at the top, just to make sure that these are nicely secured. My wreath secured with the cable ties, and I haven't added any glue yet, but it is nice and secure, which is why I love using the cable ties. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my pumpkin orange acrylic paint, and I am going to just dry brush the orange on top of the willow wreath, and I might do the back as well, not sure yet, but I'm going to start off putting a little bit, and if I want a little bit more, I'll just continue adding it until I've reached the point where I'm So I painted the willow wreaths on the front as well as the back, and that is drying now. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and paint my wooden plaque with the Dollar Tree acrylic black. The stem of the pumpkin, I just have some newspaper that I don't need anymore. So all I'm gonna do is crumple this up, and I'm going to shape it in the way that I want my stem. And it doesn't need to be very thick because it will be wrapped in the nautical rope. Okay, so once you have your shape of your stem complete, then all I did was I took some masking tape and I wrapped it so that it made it easier for when I glue my nautical rope on. Now I'm just going to get my hot glue and then start wrapping the nautical rope to cover the newspaper. So I ended up cutting down my stem for my pumpkin because I used up one roll of nautical rope and I didn't want to use another. So I just cut it off at the bottom and then glued it down. Now I will be gluing this to the center here, just right on top of that center willow wreath, and it will touch the other two. And then once it's glued on there just a bit, I will secure it more in the back. Just taking a bit of white acrylic paint that I had on hand, I'm just gonna dry brush some of the white on the black just to make this piece of wood look like it's weathered just a bit. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue my harvest word onto the plaque. Next, I'm going to glue the wooden plaque on, and I'm just going to glue it at the very bottom to cover these two twist ties. Although they are really camouflaged with the paint, you can't really tell. But I'm just going to sit it right at the bottom so only a little bit of the willow wreath is showing. So I'm just about done here with my wreath. Now I take my burlap ribbon and I've already cut it. So all I did was I took the 9-foot length, folded it in half, and then I cut it in the center. So now I have 2 equal lengths of the burlap ribbon. So with my first length, I just placed it behind the stem of the pumpkin, and I'm going to make my first bow. Now I will glue the burlap ribbon to the stem after, just so that it stays nicely in place. Now I'm going to knot that first so that it's nice and tight. And now I'm just going to make a bow. And then I will just cut the end on an angle. Then I take my second length of the burlap ribbon. I'm just going to tuck that underneath the first piece, and I will make another bow. So when I made the second bow, I didn't make the tails of the bow as long, so I cut off a couple of strips, so one on each tail. And the one strip was a little bit longer, so all I did was I cut the ends, and I'm just going to fold it in half because with these couple pieces I am going to make the hook that will hang on the back of the wreath so that it can be hung up. So I'm just going to gather it like that. So I folded it in half and then I gather it at the bottom, and then I'm just going to glue it down like that. And then with the other smaller piece, again, I will just cut the ends and then fold it nicely, and then that will cover that bottom part where I added my glue, just so that it looks a little bit nicer. So all I have left to do is add my leaves and my flowers, and then once I have added those, I will hang it up and show you what it looks like all complete. So here is my fall harvest pumpkin wreath, and I absolutely love how this has turned out. I used just enough of the orange. I didn't overpower the orange because I wanted a little bit of the brown to come through, and I really like the outcome of it. You could also paint these in white to give it a lighter look, but because I wanted a little bit of color this year, I decided to go with the orange, and I think it goes very nicely with the yellow and orange sunflowers and of course the leaves. I'm so happy with how my top came out. It looks nice and neat, and all it was newspaper wrapped in the nautical rope, and it came out perfectly, really. I'm glad that I also cleaned it up in the back and used that extra burlap ribbon to make the loop and then cover it so that it looks really nice and neat. So if this has to be hung in a window or on a French door, it's going to look nice from the other side as well. And of course the sign, I used Harvest, but I still have the thankful and the welcome, which I could have used also, but I will use them for a future DIY. And guys, that will do it. I really hope that you enjoyed this DIY. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share the video if you can, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you did. As always, you take care of yourselves, and I hope to catch you in my next video. Bye-bye.